Imagine winning an election without ever holding a campaign rally. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Well, not in the age of social media. Călin Georgescu became Romania's presidential candidate who transformed social media and smartphones into his primary political weapon. In France, Bardella turns TikTok into his political megaphone. All over the world, right-wing politicians are rewriting the rules of political communication. And they are doing it one scroll at a time.
Social media technology is not neutral. It has a bias. It is biased towards messages that get more attention.
But this is not just about viral videos or trending hashtags. It's a strategic revolution in how political messages are crafted, targeted, and consumed. So why are right-wing parties so dramatically more effective at weaponizing social media? And how are algorithmic systems becoming the new battleground of political influence? What connects Romania's presidential candidate Călin Georgescu and Sharon Bardella in France? Well, both have mastered something revolutionary, turning smartphone screens into ballot box influence. When Georgescu entered the Romania's presidential race in 2024, he was virtually unknown for the mainstream electorate. Yet within weeks, his social media strategy catapulted him to securing 23% of vote shares in the first round. How? By leveraging a carefully crafted digital presence that bypassed the traditional media entirely. His team posted a series of videos strengthening Romania's defense capabilities, increasing support for farmers, and promoting energy and food production. Content perfectly engineered for TikTok's algorithm. These videos were later shared at an unprecedented rate. The algorithm recognized it and amplified his reach exponentially. Similarly, Sharon Bardella has transformed his digital strategy by embracing platform-specific content that resonates well with younger voters. His team created content that felt native to TikTok, short, authentic, themed clips that addressed economic anxieties and national identity. Bardella spoke directly to the voters through social media and the format they consumed. Both of them have become huge superstars on TikTok, a platform that attracts a large number of young voters aged 18 to 34. These strategies stand out not for just using social media, but for mastering how algorithms work. Both politicians know that in today's digital age, engagement and emotion matter more than facts or policy details.
Social media technology is not neutral. It has a bias. It is biased towards messages that get more attention. And outrage is one that catches our attention and gets shared more.
Sharon Quissant is an associate professor of sociology at Grinnell College. She's talking about how their messages are specially designed to trigger social media's algorithm to reach more audiences.
So basically, tech companies have built systems that promote and escalate the spread of the most shocking, the most appalling, the most hateful message, rather than content that enable people to pause and reflect and analyze.
In other words, the media environment has changed dramatically since the introduction and the growth of social media in the 2000s. These platforms serve a bunch of content to the public in a manner that has radically transformed how people across the globe consume news and information. Today's social platforms serve a dizzying cocktail, all personalized through advanced algorithms. The power dynamic has fundamentally shifted. We no longer actively seek information. Rather, algorithmic systems shape and anticipate what we consume, creating personalized reality tunnel for each user.
So, and the far right has an army of influencers actually out there whose main tasks are just to foment hate and design messages that appeal aesthetically and emotionally, like memes. Because as I mentioned earlier, this will most likely be shared and appear on people's news feeds because of the algorithms.
Once upon a time, the media was limited, but since the turn of the millennium, social media has opened up Pandora's box, flooding us with endless content, shaping our preferences, and blurring the line between choice and influence. According to a Eurobarometer survey conducted by the European Parliament, 56% of the people aged 15 to 24 in 2023 consumed news through social media. This is a significant increase from a year earlier from 45%. In the French election last year, an exit poll conducted by the polling institute Elabe on the election day showed that 1/3 of the voters aged 19 to 34 voted for Bardella, a right-wing politician. This shift in news consumption habit isn't just changing where young voters get information. It's transforming the very nature of political messaging itself. Among these algorithmic ecosystems, certain content formats prove exceptionally effective at capturing attention and shaping opinion.
So the right has mastered the use of memes, for instance. So people respond to images in a stronger way than to text.
This visual approach isn't merely theoretical, but has become a cornerstone of right-wing's digital strategy.
So far-right groups, just like any other political actor, utilize cultural means to win hearts and minds, as they say, of potential adherents. So they use effective and aesthetic means. And memes, of course, have a certain appeal. Memes appear to be harmless instances of everyday visual culture.
As we have seen, mainstream social medias like Instagram and TikTok have become a powerful tool for right-wing politicians and parties.
Social media was a means for the far-right to grow. The far-right has been building for years, for decades. Many sociologists have studied this so-called invisible or hidden spaces of hate, where they learn about white supremacist ideas beyond, for example, our control or beyond even the surveillance of society or the state.
But what happens when these platforms push back? Although Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok have been instrumental in the success of right-wing digital strategy, these platforms come with limitations in terms of fact-checking, deplatforming, and community guidelines that restrict certain type of content. When content moderation policies flag misinformation, hate speech, or extremist rhetoric, many figures on the right don't disappear, they migrate. Many far-right influencers, politicians, and movements have instead turned to alt-text social media platforms like Gap, Minds, and Telegram. These spaces present themselves as champions of freedom of speech. Why? Due to low level of content moderation and high level of freedom of speech. In other words, the emergence of alt-text social media platforms has provided spaces to right-wing communities to express their political views and engage in discussing politics and democracy. Social media is no longer just a communication tool. It has become a battleground. But as algorithms continue to shape what we see and believe, the question remains: is democracy keeping up? Attempts to shut these movements out of mainstream social media platforms haven't stopped their growth either. They have instead moved into spaces that are less regulated. Deplatforming might silence voices in short term, but it does little to address the underlying problems that fuel far-right support.
So we can't just shut down social media and expect that they will stop mobilizing. We need to get into the root cause of white supremacist groups grow. And of course, we have to address the various issues such as systemic racism, capitalism, patriarchy, etc.
As politics continue to shift online, one thing is clear. The elections are no longer won in the town halls or televised debates. They are won and fought in the algorithm-driven chaos of social media.